Hi everybody, my name is Mr. Nate. Welcome to our online class on Microsoft Excel. Today we're going to be talking about automating grading system. Now in this class, we will learn how to create an automatic grading system in Microsoft Excel. This will help us to advance our course in Microsoft Excel. Let's quickly launch the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Now, let me quickly explain a few things that I didn't explain in our previous class. So first thing is looking at this particular spreadsheet that you can see. The whole of this spreadsheet is called a workbook. Just like in Microsoft Word, any work done in Microsoft Word, we call it a document. And in a document, we have different pages. We have pages 1, pages 2, whatever number of pages your document falls under. For Microsoft PowerPoint, we call it presentation. And every page of a presentation, we call it slide. So you can see slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4. Now for Microsoft Excel, the work done in Microsoft Excel is called a workbook. Now you are allowed to have multiple pages in a workbook, but we don't call it page, we call it sheet. We call it sheet. So you are allowed to have multiple sheets in Microsoft Excel. Now if you look at this, my worksheet, I have this result template. This is because I have actually renamed it. It was initially what you would ordinarily see is sheet. So let me just type the default name back, then I'll show you how to rename. Okay, so sheet, and then I don't need this particular. Okay, I could rename this too. Okay. Okay, so what's happening is telling me that name is already taken. I was not really looking at it. Okay, I could easily delete this particular sheet. I could delete this. So we have sheets. First sheet, we have sheet 2. I can add another sheet. I can add another sheet by using this this plus button here. But I don't need all of this, so I could easily delete this. I'll delete this. I'll delete this. I'll delete this. And then I'm working with this first sheet and this second sheet. Now, because of the automated grading system that we want to do, I have actually created a sheet for grade. So I'll call it grading sheet. Now you can do this actually on your own. Now I did this based on, I just assumed that this is how schools or this is how organizations will usually do their grading system, but it might not be exactly. We're just doing this for the purpose of this lesson. So I will just rename this right now. I'll rename it to grade. I'll just call it grade or grading system. And then here I can also rename it and call it results. So these are result sheets. This is the grading system that I've already prepared for this lesson. So this is what we are going to be working with for this particular training. However, before we start working with the grading system, I need to name this particular sheet. All I need to do, like we did in previous classes, to insert a row above what we have here, and then I could easily type first term results. Now I want this to be centralized. I could highlight the whole row, and then I'll say merge and center. So I'm good with this already. Then the next thing is to now create my grading system. So here I'm going to title this as grade. Now after I've done this, I can now grade it. Now looking at this grading system here, you can see that from 80 to 100 I have graded it as A. From 61 to 79 I have graded it as B. From 50 to 60 I have graded it as C. From 40 to 49 it has been graded as D, and then from 0 to 39 it has been graded as F. It is what I've actually replicated here. Now Let's now start working with the grading system. Now, there's what we call lookup wizard. Now, lookup wizard helps you to link 2 or more cells or 2 or more sheets in your Microsoft Excel. This helps you to link different sheets or different cells together to get a particular result. I'm going to put that into practice right now and you see how that works. Don't forget, whenever you want to use formula in Microsoft Excel, you always start with equals to, and then the next thing for me to do is to type look up, and then I'll open a bracket. Then I want to create the grading system from this particular guy here, Shola. That's the first person on our list. So I'll select Shola, then I'll put comma. Then I'm going to the grading sheet. I'll highlight the whole of this particular grade, and then I'll press enter. Automatically it will give me this grade. So you can see that it has graded Shola as A. If you look at my grading system also, 80 to 90 is actually graded as A. So it means Shola truly falls between that grade. Now, if you don't understand, let's do that again for Ifeanyi, which is the second person on the list. I'll use equals to, then I'll say look up. I'll open a bracket, I'll click this, then I'll put a comma, and then I'll go to my grading system. I'll highlight the grading system, and then I'll press enter. You can see it's also graded Ifeanyi for A. Now let's look at it again. So we'll know if actually Ifeanyi falls in that range. Grading system 80 to 100. You can see, so that we're sure that this is actually working properly. Let's do that for Ada. Since Ada falls below, grade A, let's say equals to look up. You open the bracket, you click on this result, and then you put a comma. You go back to the grading sheet, you highlight this, you highlight the whole of this grade, and then you press enter. So you can see Ada has been graded under B. Let's look at our grading system. Ada actually falls between that B grade. Now, we don't have to keep doing this because Microsoft Excel has an autofill function, which I already told you in our previous videos. So we will just apply that here. Now, but for this particular style, it's different. Our autofill might not really work relatively the way it's been working. For instance, if you double click on the autofill icon here, it won't even give you the right answer. Let's double click to see. So you can see it's actually giving you not applicable. It's showing you that this is not applicable. So I'll just undo this. Now, the best way to get the Microsoft Excel to give you the right answer for such is you need to go to the formula bar here. You put the $sign. This is just a standard formula for achieving results such as this. So you put the $sign in before the B, and then you also put another $sign before the C. Then you can, once you have done this, you can now easily use the autofill to calculate the total result. So let's double click right now, so you can see that the computer has properly graded this. Then another thing I want to do is I want to also do comments. Now we're going to do comment just the same way we did for the grading system. You know that sometimes in your result, or most times in your result, you see distinction, excellence, you will see pass, you will see credit, you will see fail. We want to do that too for our grading system. So here I'm just going to type comment here, and then I will copy all of this grade. I will just copy it here, and then I would now put the comments. For this, I will say fail. For this, I will say pass. For this, I will say credit. For this, I will say merit. And this, I will say distinction. So this is the way I created this other grade too. So how do we do this? I will just come here, I'll say equals to is, sorry, I'm going to use lookup. Look up, I'll open the brackets, I'll say G9, G3 rather. Then I'll go to the grade sheet, I'll highlight this, and then I'll press enter. So you can see it has given me the result distinction. Let's do the same thing for the second guy. We'll say look up, open the bracket, we would say G4 for ifine. We'll put a comma, we'll go to the grading system, we'll highlight this, then we'll press enter. It will give us this result. Now we don't want to keep typing for everybody. We just come here, put the $ before B, we'll put the $ before C. Now when you click out, it has actually adjusted the formula, and then from here you can always double click on the autofill function, and then it will give you your result. Now why are we putting $ before B and C? Now we are linking this sheet, this second sheet here, we are linking the cell B here and the cell C here. We are linking it with what we have here. So you can see that this has given us our results. Now before we end this class, there's something I also want to explain to us when creating table. When creating our spreadsheets. Most times, by the time you want to print this particular spreadsheet, go to print preview. Let's see what it looks like. It might not come out well. Print preview, look at it. So there's no table. There's no table. So it's not well organized. But we can easily add table to this by highlighting the whole of the information here, and then we can come to the borders here. Here is where we have the border. We can just click on all border, and then table will be automatically applied. Now let's go to print preview and look at it again. So you can see border has been added already. Let's go back. We can do the same thing for the grading system. We can add border to this. We'll just go to border, we'll add full border. We do the same thing for this grade. We add full border. We would add full border to this. We go to the comment as well. We add full border to this. Now let's look at this from the print preview. So you can see we have actually added border to all of this. So basically, this is how to create an automated grading system in Microsoft Excel. I'm sure you would be able to use this skill to do so many other things in Microsoft Excel. In our previous class, we will learn so much more about Microsoft Excel, but I believe that in this class, you have learned a lot. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. See you in our next class.